Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to dive deep into a single Hindi nursery rhyme video. Now, on the surface, it looks pretty simple, right? But what's fascinating is that it's actually hiding three totally different and surprisingly complex stories inside. It's a really cool look into the layers of modern kids' media.
It all kicks off with this really charming line. One fat elephant went for a walk. It's a simple, innocent beginning to a story that, as we're about to find out, is about way more than just taking a stroll. This is our way in.
All right, here's our game plan. We'll start with that elephant's journey, and then we'll see how it turns into a lesson on teamwork. After that, things get weird with a strange bedtime story before we jump into the world of apps. And finally, we'll put it all together and figure out what it all reveals.
Okay, let's get into that first story. It starts out like any classic fable, really. It sets up a really clear premise. You've got a single character, they're facing a problem, and they need to figure out a solution.
The conflict is super simple and honestly pretty relatable. Our hero, this one elephant, is just out for a walk, and bam, it starts to rain. He gets stuck, he's a little scared, and he's all by himself. He's in a jam.
And right off the bat, the rhyme gives us its core message. The elephant doesn't even try to solve this thing alone. Instead, just like the lyrics say, he calls for help. He beckons another elephant to come over. So the theme is clear from the get-go. The answer is togetherness, it's community.
So now let's see how this whole idea of teamwork really starts to build. Because the story isn't just about calling one friend. It's about how the challenges get bigger and bigger, and how you need an even bigger team to tackle them.
So now we've got two elephants. You'd think, okay, problem solved, right? Well, not quite. The problem gets bigger too. Now they're both stuck on a narrow path. The challenge is literally scaled up right along with the team.
So what do? Naturally, they call a third elephant for help. But with three of them comes an even more ridiculous problem. They all try to pile onto a teeny tiny bicycle. And as you can probably guess, that does not work. The obstacles are just getting sillier and sillier.
A fourth elephant joins the crew. Their brilliant new plan? Let's all sit on a vegetable cart. But of course, their combined weight is just too much. The cart breaks and down they all go. You see the pattern here? Every solution just leads to a bigger, funnier problem.
Finally, we have the whole team, a full 5 elephants. And now they face their biggest challenge yet. They get all tangled up in a monkey's net. This is the big climax of their adventure, the one problem that it seems like they just can't solve, even as a group.
This table just lays out the story structure perfectly, doesn't it? As the team grows from 1 to 5, you can see the challenges become more and more absurd. It's such a simple but really effective way to tell a story about sticking together and not giving up.
And the ending is just perfect. The very same monkey who set the trap is the one who ends up freeing them. And then what happens? They celebrate. They all dance together, ending this whole first story on a massive high note of joy and friendship. But just as that story wraps up, the video does something completely unexpected. It just pivots, hard, into a totally different rhyme, with this surreal, almost dreamlike feeling. The adventure is over, and something much, much stranger is about to begin.
So this second story opens with this very calm, very domestic scene. The fan runs above, Ajay sleeps below. In a flash, we've been pulled from a jungle adventure right into a quiet bedroom. It's a complete shift in tone, setting, everything.
Now, to really get what's happening here, it helps to know this term, nonsense verse. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's a style of writing where the rhythm and the sound of the words are way more important than making logical sense. The whole point is to be whimsical and wonderfully absurd.
And this is where the nonsense really kicks in. The sleeping child gets hungry, someone brings peanuts, and then we get this classic, just baffling line. There's no peanut in the kernel, we are not your maternal uncle. It makes zero sense, and that's the point. It's this joyful leap away from logic that's at the heart of this kind of rhyme. And the strange little story just keeps going. This non-uncle goes to a city, he brings back a parrot, the parrot literally eats a song, and then it sings it back. It's a tiny narrative that runs completely on dream logic. And then, the video just does the whole thing over again. The entire verse is repeated, but this time with different names. This repetition really reinforces its purpose as a lullaby. It's meant to be soothing, predictable, and comforting.
Okay, so we've had a fable about teamwork and a surreal little lullaby. But the video's not done with us yet.
It takes one final and kind of jarring turn, leaving the world of timeless stories and crashing right into the 21st century.
The dreamy lullaby just fades out, and suddenly we're hit with this super upbeat commercial jingle telling us to download the app. And just like that, the entire purpose shifts from telling a story to a direct call to action.
Then the song starts listing off all the app's features. It promises you're going to get more stories and songs, but also puzzles and games, lessons to learn English and math, and even coloring activities. The art form has officially become a product pitch.
All right, so let's zoom out. What did this whole journey through one little nursery rhyme video actually tell us? Well, when you break it all down, you see it's a perfect little snapshot of modern children's media.
This single video is really three things mashed into one. First, it's a fable about teamwork. Then, it's a surreal lullaby that's designed to soothe you. And finally, it's a commercial jingle designed to sell you something. Three completely different worlds, all stitched together.
And that leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. This shift from pure story to product is happening all over the place in kids' media. So when a timeless nursery rhyme also becomes a doorway to an app store, what are we gaining and what might we be losing? Definitely something to chew on.